And I said, you know what's funny? Like, to me, living the dream is just... Hi, good morning. Let's do our nails together. I work in a kitchen, so my hands are always running under hot water, picking up things that are heavy, always around heat. So I rarely get my nails done anymore, unless I have like an event. I always get press-ons because at the very least, like if one comes off, I could just snap one back on. I went to Walgreens the other day and there was a bit of a BOGO sale going on, so I got two. I also got white because I feel like white was so in the like 2000s, like 2010s. And I don't see them anymore. Like we all know like the white toes, you know? But I'm just like, I haven't seen like a good white fingernail in a while. So I'm like, we're gonna do it. Oh, fuck. I also wanted to catch up. I took a few weeks off of YouTube just because we could knit a sweater with all of the hair in my apartment. I took a little break because we have our new corporate contract. And if you're new here, by the way, I own a meal prep service, and that's definitely, you know, like a service that's direct to consumer. We deliver their meals every Sunday to their door, but we're also able to get contracted with the city to work with, you know, different programs. And I recently got contracted to serve daily meals to a reduction housing program, and it's for women and children. So that just started mid-February, and this month was really like the full month where we, you know, have been at it, and it's been really early mornings. And I'm trying to kind of honor my energy and my creative life in a way that serves me, which is mostly going to be like what this video is about. I've been wanting to just chat about what's been going on in my brain. It's a bit of a dance. Like, I am by nature a creative person. Do I dare even say an artist? And you might be like, girl, you are not an artist. Like, what have you done? And it's like, I've done a lot and I do a lot that's super creative every single day. But the hard truth of me also being a unmarried, unchildrened woman is real, and it takes the forefront of my life. So it's like, I don't get to be as creative as I want to be sometimes. But now that my business is a little bit more established, which is, by the way, why I even created a business, so that way I could make sure that I have time to be able to like do whatever I want creatively. I'm kind of leaning in and honing in on like what I want my creative life to look like. And that's like such a privilege. I mean, I don't want to say it is a privilege, but I guess I want to also be real to the fact that like I deliberately created it that way, so that way I can have the luxury to think about what video I want to make, or like write random shit in the morning, or like do a deep dive on like music artists that I really love. And it's been a journey to get here, but now that I'm kind of here, I've been like just really thinking about like what I want to do and stuff. And anyway, I'm stepping into kind of this new mindset, and it's just really exciting for me. I don't know if it's like essentially just age, where I'm just like, I genuinely just don't give as much of a fuck, or if like perhaps I've just been in survival mode. First of all, let me give you a little bit of context. So I moved to LA for acting. I still have an acting manager who is a saint. And even though I haven't booked anything since 2019, for whatever reason, she still has me on her roster. And I made a vow to her that I'm going to make us both famous one day. So she's counting on me. I had my first audition of the year a few weeks ago, and it was okay. It was a step in the right direction in the sense that there's a Zoom audition and not just self-tape, which you guys know that I have kind of low-key hated self-tapes. It was good. It was a little co-star. But I mean, you know, we're all on the same internet here, and although our algorithms might be different, you might be able to tell that like just media is changing so much, and how things are being made is changing so much. I think the TikTokification of 2020 across all like media platforms is still very much alive, but I do see another shift happening, and it's two separate things that are kind of coming together. Number one, influencing is obviously not new, and influencers getting their like own channel or getting these like interviews, and influencers having their own brand is also not new. But what I see happening, and it was really obvious at the Oscars, is that essentially, since everything is about clicks now, everyone is trying to put these influencers in a position where, you know, now they're interviewing like these huge A-list celebrities for the simple fact that they're like, okay, well, their followers will watch this interview more. And there's certain people that are like really good at it, right? And there's certain people that are just not. And I think that's where my second point is coming. There's influencers that just kind of popped off on the internet and are just riding with this wave, and they didn't necessarily have like a trajectory of like, I want to be this like podcast host or this like event host, right? Like they're just kind of like, oh my God, this is so amazing. I never thought this would happen. I'm just going to ride this wave and work with this like marketing machine. And then there's like another pocket of people, and I kind of see this. I don't want to name names of who I'm talking about because I don't know. I don't watch their content enough, but this is just kind of a feeling that I get from them. And I'm sure they're like, they're great, and this is not like a diss or anything, but like I sometimes feel like there are writers that turned to TikTok to just get an outlet, and now they're influencers, and now they're like interviewing celebrities. Or like comedians, like stand-up comedians that like maybe, I don't want to say should have, but instead of going to a comedy class or instead of going to try stand-up, got on TikTok instead, blew up, and then now they're doing these like hosting, and they have these huge lives, you know what I mean? Now I make content and I wish I made more, but when I look at them, I go, oh my God, like amazing career, good for them. And trust me, these people are getting paid. Okay, they're getting paid. So like, I'm by no means like, ugh, like what are they doing? Or I don't turn my nose up in influencing at all, because as much as people like to talk shit about influencers or people that make content, this shit is hard. Like this is not easy. It is not easy to put yourself out there. It's not easy to just like speak eloquently. It's not easy to edit. It's not easy to make time to do this. And the biggest thing involves like, it's not easy to put all your time into something that may or may not like have any return, you know? Like it's cringy, it's time consuming, like just the list goes on, right? So anyway, what's my point? I have ADD. But as someone who makes content, I can't help but think to myself, like, is this kind of the trajectory that me, someone who's like an actor and a writer, like, is that where I want my career to go ultimately? And no, I don't have any interest in interviewing a celebrity, you know what I mean? But then let's take it the other direction, right? These artists that are like, no, I am a musician, I'm a producer, I'm a director, I'm a singer, I'm an author, and I have an agent, I have a publisher, but like they're telling me to make fucking TikToks. Like now I have to make TikToks, you know, and everyone hates it. Like I know people in the music world hate that. They hate it. They just want to make their art. They want to make their art and they want to go home. Or they want to make their art, they want to put it out, and like they don't want to like make a funny like video on TikTok or share about their day. But it's just kind of the way of the world now, right? So all of that being said, what I've been thinking about is like, okay, well, what does this mean for me? I'm 37, so by Hollywood standards, I'm a fucking dinosaur, and there's no way that I would ever make it at this point in my career, right? I've never had work done, I'm not skinny. I have two options. My one option is just like get into acting class, maybe network a little bit more, and have my managers kind of do the lift of getting me more auditions, which by the way doesn't guarantee that I'll actually get the roles, right? Because now the inventory for roles are so small that like there's so many people auditioning for like one role, versus in the past the inventory was so large. Or I have another option, which is to play the game, to make the TikToks, to make the content, to try to like fit into this mold of whatever society thinks I should look like, even though that makes me, okay? It's a part of the game. It just unfortunately is a part of the game. For me, I'm not saying this is right and I'm not saying I agree with this, but in Hollywood, it feels like you have to have some type of feature that's like funny, quirky, silly, or you have to be like really pretty. But like if you're somewhere in between, they kind of don't know what to do with you. Unless you're white, of course. Because no one works more than a basic white bitch. But anyway, that's for another video. So, okay, I can do a hybrid of these. I'm going to get into acting class really soon. I am going to start networking a little bit more, put myself out there a little bit more creatively, use my free time to see where I can connect into this world again and just get back into the scene somehow. Like sometimes you just have to be plugged in, you know? I think it's like a momentum thing. But anyway, okay, hold and breathe. Okay, wait, I hope I don't lose my train of thought. But then I have to ask myself the question, like, well, what do you want to make? Like, what are you trying to say? Like, what are you doing here? Who are you? And why should anyone care about you? And that is a big question to ask yourself, because I've been making content since 2020. I started in the fitness game, which is honestly where I got most of my following. I posted about food. I have a Dinner with Friends series that I love so much. I love poetry. People have seen me on the internet with like full-blown eczema on my face. I have gone through a breakup. I've gone through like my entrepreneurship, like business owner era where I was like really going through it and life was so hard. I've been fat, I've been skinny, I've been a party girl. I've really taken my audience through quite the journey. And it's been like kind of random, but it's really just been my life up to this point. And so, yeah, I think some of the ideas that I've put out are really fun, like Dinner with Friends. I love the idea of Dinner with Friends still. I think it could go in so many different directions, and I'm not like by any means putting that series down. But I do think that if I want it to look a certain way, I need to kind of get out of my kitchen a little bit. So I'm playing with that idea. Okay, I got my thumb on. And I get ideas all the time. But what I end up doing is that I think to myself, like, why would you post about this topic? No one wants to hear your thoughts about this topic. Like, you haven't earned your right to talk about this topic. Do you know what I'm saying? And so I just don't post it. But here's the thing. Fun fact about me, I lose followers every time I post. Like, every single time. I've had the same follower count since 2020 on Instagram. TikTok, yes. TikTok, I've had a little bit more success. I keep getting unfollowed there because people follow me for two reasons: my cooking content or my fitness content. And I want to make more cooking content. Cooking is not like something that I like is like a phase I was just going through. I literally do it for a living. But I think I'm just prioritizing my excitement, and cooking right now is not exciting for me. It is something that I'm doing and making at very high volume. So it's very not romantic. It's so not sexy. And even with Dinner with Friends, it's like I am running out of friends. Here's the kind of vow I made to myself. If I'm going to play this game and I'm going to be putting myself out there, it has to be over things that I like really give a shit about, and things that I find funny and fun and interesting or deep. Because even though like I do really like lead with being like silly as much as you can and like not giving a fuck and just being free, I have this deep brooding energy as well in my heart that's like always sad. Like I feel like I have like a low grade sadness at all time, and not like in a depressing way. You don't have to feel bad for me, but like in like I love a good love song, like a heartbreak song, even if I'm happy. Like that's just who I am at my core, you know? Like I'm just, maybe it's because I'm Mexican. I feel like Mexicans like are just always longing for something. Just a longer. I love sad stuff. I love like poetry that's really sad. Maybe this is not even happening. People probably just think I'm suicidal, but I hope that if people look at my Instagram stories, because that's like where I share most of this stuff, that I make them like stop and think for a second. Because one thing about me is I don't think sadness is a bad thing. I think you learn a lot about your sadness. And I also think that the reason why I am so carefree and why I'm a generally happy, joyous person is because I'm friends with my sadness. So I can talk about this for a while, okay? But that's my whole point. What can I talk about for a while? Well, I'll tell you. One of those things is music. For so long, I've been wanting to post about music, but I'm just like, I'm not a musician. I am not a singer. I'm not an analyst. I'm not a critic. I am not anyone. Why would anyone give a shit about what I have to say about music? It's like, who cares? I care about what I have to say about music because there's certain music geeks out there. And if you're watching this, you know that we are like a special breed of people. Like we actually do deep dives on artists. We actually do think about 4 different songs when we hear one melody in one song. We obsess over song lyrics. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm just gonna make videos about the shit that I like. So there's that. 2, I am so done putting energy towards people liking me or people understanding me. Like I literally don't care that you understand me. I don't. I have a bunch of different interests. You know what's another interest I have? I could talk about like forever? Therapy. The societal structures of our whole existence and how fatherless structures have really built this entire nation and all of these terrible things that happen all the time. I can talk about that for years, okay? And I can talk shit about that too because guess who's fatherless? If you didn't already guess. I can talk about comedy and comedy writing. I can talk about religion. This stuff is too hard to do. Putting yourself out there is too hard to do. Editing is too hard to do. Taking time out of your beautiful Saturday morning to make a video and edit a video, like, it's work. So it's like, I'm not gonna do the work just so people could notice me and like me, and hopefully it could lead to some creative opportunity. Like, the creative opportunity is right happening, and this is the creative opportunity. And so I have to just create the stuff that I want to create, because why am I waiting for someone to be picked when I could literally just make whatever I want right now? Like, right now. You know? And if there's a point where like a particular medium pops off for me, and then that people would deem as successful, or, you know, my manager would be happy with, then like, great, you know? But at the very least, it's going to be on my terms, and it's going to be on something that like doesn't feel like work and such a big lift. Do you know what I'm saying? I would put content out more regularly if it was about shit that I cared about. It's not like I don't care about fitness and I don't care about food, but it's like I am so much more than that, you know? So anyway, guys, all of that to say, let's put this final nail in. Ah! Don't panic. Don't panic. So with that said, my short form content will probably be a lot more random. If you've been following me for a while, you're going to be like, huh? But it's going to be kind of for me, okay, you guys? This is like, please let me have this, and hopefully you stick around. And it's okay if you don't. It's totally okay if you don't. And I was talking to a friend the other day. She was just saying how important family was to her, and how now that she has a kid, she feels like her being a homemaker and being with her family has always felt like the ultimate sense of kind of like, you know, living the dream. And I said, you know what's funny? Like, to me, living the dream is just being able to make stuff. And then she just was like, yeah, because you're an artist. You know, it's just like alignment. It's living your life in alignment and coherence. It's not necessarily about like getting famous or getting rich. Although I joke about that. I actually would hate to be super famous. But anyway, so I'm there in that space in my mind. And I don't always talk like this, but I feel like I just really needed to like let that out. So thank you for being here if you're still here. I'm going to do this other hand, and it's going to need a lot of focus because I'm right-handed and I just did my left hand. So I'm going to hang up, but I love you guys. Stay tuned.